Hey, it's John Foster, and you're watching the Permanent Rain Press.
Hi everyone, it's Chloe with the Permanent Rain Press today. I am so happy to be joined by John Foster. How's it going?
It's going wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for taking the time. I'm excited to talk a bit more about your American Idol journey, but to start off, what can you share about your background in the arts and music and who you draw inspiration from in artists and genre?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was one of those people that came into music later. And a lot of people you'll talk to, they started singing at 3 or whatever. That wasn't me. I got my first guitar when I was 15 years old, and that's when I seriously got into kind of singing. And I made my first public appearance with a band at 15 as well. So the whole time before that, I was focused more on academics and focused on school because I was someone that really enjoyed, doing the right thing in school. And yeah, I got started later, and everything just took off. I started singing, and a lot of people encouraged me. You need to pursue this. You need to pursue this. And I was very skeptical at first. I didn't think I really had the talent to go far to make it here for sure. But I kept working on it and practicing practicing my guitar, practicing my singing, and here we are. And in terms of inspiration, the person that I think I draw the most inspiration from within in terms of like my vocal style is George Strait. He's a king of country music, and he really is just the default of the traditional country sound. There are a lot of other people. Like, my favorite musician in the whole wide world is Willie Nelson. He's on my shirt right now. I love Willie because he's always himself. He's never afraid to show exactly who he is to whoever. Consequences be damned kind of thing.
It's really great to kind of look back at, who inspires you, and it's clear like your influences like 4 or 5 years ago are the same today, which is really
Right.
cool. I want to talk about Talbot Angel, I Love Her, which was
Hmm.
written with two of your friends in mind, Maggie Dunn and Caroline Gill, who lost their lives
Correct.
in 2022. Can you tell me about writing that specific song and that life event and how it really changed your perspective as a person and as an artist?
Sure. So like I said, I came into music late, and the time before I wrote this song, I was doing gigs and I was playing guitar, but I never really made that solid connection with music. And I never, before December 31st, 2022, I'd never really lost someone that with that much magnitude of grief. I never experienced that much grief. And so losing them so suddenly and so tragically, it took a major toll on my entire being, physical, mental, spiritual. And I can just remember sitting there. I was sitting at my family's house on the bayou, which actually, if you watch my Showstoppers performance, you can see that place. And I was sitting on the pier watching the water roll and listening to the nature and whatnot. And yeah, it's just like it sounds cliche, but the words and the melody came to me, and I wrote it down. And to this day, I always say it's the most beautiful yet the most horrific thing that I've ever created as a musician. Those words, when you look into the meaning of them, I do, like I said, I do think it's one of the most beautiful things created because I was able during my time of grief to channel that into some words. Like, my favorite line in the whole song, and one that really speaks to me, is sure, the sun will come up, but it won't shine on her skin. Because when something really bad happens to you in your life, something a lot of people say is the sun's going to come up the next morning. No matter what happens, the sun will come up. And I heard that a lot after losing them. And I channeled that into those words because, yeah, sure, the sun will come up, but it won't ever shine on her skin again on this earth. So it's just like writing those words, connecting to music that deeply is the reason why I'm in music so deeply now. It's why I'm in the top 24 of American Idol. I owe I owe that to that song because, once again, when you have that horrific of an event happen to you, you need something to channel. You need something to channel into. And that song slash music was that.
Thank you for sharing all of that. It's such a beautiful song. I love the lyric. It's each tear that falls on my guitar is a hug from afar. And I know that the community really came together to support one another during that time. And they're currently supporting you in your run on American Idol. So what has it
Yes.
meant to have the support of Addis, Louisiana, your friends and family really rally behind you?
It has just meant the entire world, that even that day, that month, that year, the community has always shown up to support, no matter if it's because of grief, no matter if they're supporting because of grief reasons, or no matter if they're supporting because of more celebratory reasons like this, like being an American Idol. And I owe that song to me deeply connecting to music, but I owe my community to really I owe my community for really being allowing me to pursue music deeply and allowing me to pursue it as kind of a career. I'm young, so I don't really have consider it a career right now because, I haven't needed to pay bills or anything. But I've been able to pursue it because of the community as my job. It's been able to support me financially for whatever an 18-year-old may need. And so to put it quite simply, I could not do it without them. And that's not an overstatement. It's not an exaggeration. I literally could not pursue music fully without the support of my community, my hometown, Addis. And just a little tidbit about me and my hometown. So I come from a parish. So in Louisiana, we don't have counties, we have parishes. I come from West Baton Rouge Parish. And the parish as a whole means a lot to me because Addis is my hometown, but Addis and Bruley, spelled Brusly, are sister towns. So everyone that's born and raised in Addis goes to Bruley schools. I graduated from Bruley High School. So the two communities are extremely intertwined. So not only do I owe Addis my career, also owe Bruley my career, West Baton Rouge as a whole, and really to go even further, Louisiana, my home state. I'm so proud of my home state. The culture, the food, the music, the love, everything about that state is just it runs so deeply in my blood. And that entire state, that entire community, I owe them my career. There's no doubt about it.
You're currently studying biology with goals of medical school, becoming an oncologist. Briefly, where did this kind of interest come from in this career for you?
Sure. Yeah. Since I can remember, like I told you before pursuing music, so I didn't pursue music till about 15 years old. Before that, I was extremely academic focused. And even after pursuing music, I had, a strong line on academics. But medicine has always been something that's interested me because I'm also a very spiritual person, a very faith-based person. I'm a practicing Catholic, and there's something beautiful about healing, whether that's spiritual healing and in this case, physical healing. The God can heal spiritually. And I think it's so beautiful that he's allowed humans to heal physically on earth and to be someone that can help to heal people on earth as an oncologist has always been so interesting to me. The fact that I could study and learn about the human body and fight to make the world a healthier and better place. It's a thought that just it pushes me. It pushes me to go further. It pushes me in my studies. Sometimes it's really hard to juggle a biology major and American Idol, but I've been able to do it with that thought in mind. God blessed a certain group of people, as in people in medicine, with the ability to heal people on earth. I want to be one of those people, especially considering that I come from a community that has a high rate of cancer. We have a lot of chemical plants nearby. We're actually known as Cancer Alley because of our high rate of cancer. I also have family members that are affected with it currently. And so to be around that, to know what it can do to the body, it's so it's I'm gonna say inspiring, but it's not inspiring in the sense of like like the cancer inspires me, it inspires me to think that I could help that is the best way to put it. It inspires me to think that I can help make everything better. That's what pushes me on.
It's such important work, so I really hope you get to pursue both, this
Yes.
medical
Thank
route,
you.
oncology, and music in the future. Going into American Idol, like what was it like watching your audition back on TV with the judges' feedback and how you reacted, not only having to perform one song, but two songs in front of them?
Yeah, watching it back. So I'm somebody, I don't deal with a lot of nerves sometimes. Sometimes I do. That day I wasn't dealing with that many nerves, but when I walked into the room, autopilot went on, and I didn't really remember much of it, to be honest. So to watch it back on TV kind of reminded me everything that happened. And it was really, really interesting to see myself, my face, my name on American Idol. I've watched American Idol for a long time and always had it in my mind, that'd be pretty cool to be on there. And to sit there on watching a national television program and see my face and my name, and then to look as it pans to my face, and then it pans to the face of three of the biggest names in music: Lionel Richie, Carrie Underwood, and Luke Bryan. And then to hear their comments and their feedback, I truly enjoyed it. And of course, the duet with Luke Bryan, one of the biggest names in country, was such a pleasure. And to have Carrie Underwood as like my she was my judge. She asked for the second song. It's the reason that she asked for the second song that I got three yeses. Because as Luke Bryan said in the audition, he would have been a no if I hadn't sing that second song. So I owe her those three yeses. So to watch it back and to see it all happen and to see it all just see that golden ticket in my hands and my family rush in, it's a feeling that I've never felt before this.
And then when you were leaving, of course, Carrie calls you a cutie patootie. Lionel and Luke agree with her. Was that the first time you heard that comment watching yourself on TV?
Yes, yes, she said that when I left the room. And everybody was asking me, how did it feel when she said that to you? And I was like, it didn't feel, because she didn't say that to me. I had no idea. I learned that she called me a cutie patootie when the rest of the world learned that she called me cutie patootie. And I was like, I remember just sitting there and going, what did she just say? Because I mean, to see it, man, Carrie Underwood, I don't need to say she's a beautiful woman, and she's one of my favorite female country singers in the entire world. So for her to not only be like my judge and be my advocate, and then to call me a cutie patootie, that was just amazing. It really was.
How has it been bonding with your fellow contestants, throughout this whole journey so far? You had Hollywood Week, but also the top 24 in Hawaii and being back in California now.
Oh man, coming from back home, I have, amazing, wonderful friends, but none of them really connect with music as deeply as I do in terms of creating music, singing, playing instruments. So to be around 23 of the very best musicians in the country our age is an honor in itself. And to think that not only am I allowed to be around them, but I'm allowed to create friendships with them. It's beautiful, and they are such a group. They're just such a wonderful group. They truly are. I don't say that as an overstatement or to boost the show's credibility. They are truly a group of people that have just really good souls, and not only good souls but talent. Man, if you could go back and watch all of their performances, it's like, wow, we have this much talent in the world. Every time I see any of their performances, I just smile. I just smile because they're just so good. And the fact that they have that much talent and can still be these humble, great individuals, man, it's such an honor to know every single one of them.
Moving forward with your top 24 performance and hopefully in future rounds, what are you hoping to showcase as an artist and a vocalist to not only the judges and America, but also for yourself?
Yeah, I so my first audition, if you watch it back, you'll notice that Carrie Underwood and especially Lionel Richie made the point of the song was really Goodbye Time by Conway Twitty. They enjoyed the performance, but they wanted to hear more of who I was and who I am as an artist. And to be honest, it's like, I'm fairly new to music. I started at 15, so I'm about 3.5 years into seriously pursuing music. So I don't know exactly who I am as an artist. I don't know exactly what my style is, wardrobe wise, or what exactly my vocal style is going to be for the rest of my life. So I'm really grateful that I'm here on this American Idol journey, because what better place to find who you are as an artist than American Idol? A national, credible TV show that's produced so many stars with their own identities. So I hope in my future performances that I can show the judges and the world who I am as an artist, but I can also start to slowly discover who I am as an artist and show myself who I am. And I think as I go on, that's going to slowly emerge.
I have one more question for you. How do you manage the pressures of being in a reality TV show competition, but also, putting out the best performance that you can?
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure, and I'm sure you know that that's pretty Captain Obvious. But being on a competition like this with millions of eyes on you, and that word, that the C word, the competition word, we all hate, and when I say we, I mean the top 24. We all hate seeing it that way because we all love music and we see it as just a place to share our music. But in reality, in the real world, it is a competition, and that word can be very daunting. And it is. It gets really daunting on the mind, and being so quickly put into the public eye. There's comments, there's bad comments, and that can take a toll on mental health as well. So the main thing that I've done to manage all of it is stay centered on myself, stay centered on my faith, and remind myself why I'm here. Am I here to completely just like get famous and power? No. I'm here to share my music, and I'm here to hopefully be given the opportunity to pursue music as a lifetime career. That's why I'm here. I'm here to make friendships, and I'm here to serve the Lord through my music. So when I keep that in mind, although this is a competition, I'm here to just discover myself and discover who I am and share my music. When I keep that in mind and just meditate on that idea, that's how I keep it all managed. It's also just taking time for myself, sitting here and just thinking, taking those moments, praying, keeping it all centered, because it can be a lot, but keeping it all centered on the Lord, on myself, on what I'm trying to do, it helps me keep it all in balance.
That's all I have for you. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat, John. You speak so intelligently, and I could
Oh,
talk
thank
to you
you.
for a long time.
Oh, yeah, I
But
could too.
I'm excited to follow your journey on American Idol. Hopefully, new original music coming in the future in
Yes.
2025 as well. Until then, for all those watching, make sure to support John on American Idol, currently airing Sundays and Mondays on City TV in Canada, and of course on ABC. And we will see you next time.
All righty. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great one.